All right. Are we still
Oh, there he
Hey,
is.
look. We finally got Bob Hall here. Where are you, Bob?
I hung up on him. I hung up on you. Unmute yourself. Turn on your camera.
Yeah, we get him. Not to fear. Minnesota, that's where ice was, wasn't it? Yep. Well, let's see here if we can get this thing. No, I'll wait because I thought we'd had it home free, but no.
The video is not cut.
I can hear you. There he is.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Santa Claus just joined us.
We did that. Okay, so that I got you. That was just the link was there, but that was the second link on the page.
Well,
Yeah.
sacred space is hard to get to, Bob. Nobody
Well,
said it was easy.
we did it.
We did it.
And I even refrained using my naval language.
Well, that's my. I was a clown. I went to clowning school, and when I was in San Francisco, and I did mime on the street. You know what mime is? Is you act just you mirror their actions. So that mirror work is the work of the West, but now we're working on the gifts of the West. You are not entitled to them. You have to work for them. It's like they say, pray for potatoes, but grab a hoe, because them potatoes don't grow in heaven. They grow in the mama, in the earth. So the ice queen cometh.
Well, I'm just going to send a text to the universe and tell them that I'm retired now. So,
Did you go to Les Schwab
pardon?
to retire?
Retired. Yes.
You bought a new pair of tires?
I deserve a new pair.
Your old ones ran out?
No.
Well, that means I'm going to bed, but I'm going to retire. That's what that. Say, I'm tired. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
That's
I
right.
had a little drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. Remember that song?
No.
Well,
No.
I'm old.
Before
I'm too young for that. You're the old guy in the.
I know, I'm the old fart.
That's right.
Anyway, at my age, I ain't looking for followers because I got enough followers. Hell, I think the more I try to keep people out of my store, the more they want in.
Yeah.
It's like they say your yes doesn't mean a damn thing until your no's believable.
Yep.
That's the handless maiden. I have that in my book that I used to teach from. It's called The Teachings of the North, The Teachings of the South. And now I've added the 12 steps because that's part of my foundation. My grandma used to sing, "How firm a foundation." You know, you can't build your church on sand. You have to find bedrock. So that's the frame. That's the. Sometimes Martin Heiberg used to say in his circles, it says, "We're all wounded." It says, the way people feel healed is you listen to them. Say, kisses aren't contracts. And you have to, that's the old thing called, when I'm old, I shall wear purple. But while you're saving all your china, you know, use what you have. Go to bed with no dirty dishes. See, each day, that's one day at a time, that's recovery. I got 51 years sober without a drink. But,
See, I was married to Martha. You couldn't throw dishes fast away enough to run out.
but I'm not an evangelist. I don't try to get people sober because anonymity in Alcoholics Anonymous is a spiritual foundation. But I wanted to get back what Bob, we both read the Lynn Twist book, The Soul of Money
Yeah.
and the Soul of Business. And then I've got on my website, competition is the chief source of separation from spirituality, the business to spirituality. Because if you work for, that means you're dependent, that you're codependent. So natives say, I am the first and last of my nation. I am the beginning and the ending. I am the Alpha and Omega. And we got Ashley here, who's smart as a whip, and she's a ram. That means you want something started, you get Ashley. She gets some groups started all the time. She really takes what I teach and makes an art out of it. She showed me this art she had. Beautiful. But the natives say, don't speak for yourself, let other people speak for you. Because if you start tooting your own horn, natives will walk out the door.
Yeah.
He's a Wanabe. What's a Wanabe? He wants to be an Indian. So, be all you can be. It's if you got bees, you got honey. Honey in the heart. And that's happiness. That's one of the promises of prayer and support and working the steps. And there are 12 steps. That's first one is I can't, or I won't, and I'm powerless. I'm whipped. So you got to be willing to go to any lengths. You can't just have pieces of people. I want a piece. I ask. Well, what are you going to do with the piece? That's what you're afraid of the whole thing. So touch is so needed, especially when you're an elder. And Bob is a great. You can walk into a coffee shop and have everybody in there waiting for him to come back, because he's Gemini, air. So we got fire, air, and water here. We're like an earth, but the drum is a mama. I got a 42-inch drum downstairs, and this elder from one of the tribe of New Martinwell, he came in. Says, I'd like to buy some copal. He brought a drum, and he says, can you paint this drum? He made it. I said, well, I got a native artist to paint it for you. What you charge me? $200. $200? I said, yep. Don't you have any kinfolk? No, I'll raise the price for people who want it to be cheaper. So, well, I price things fair. It's even best not to put a price, and then you can haggle like the Jewish people do. What do you take for it? What do you give me for it? What do you take for it? What do you give me for it? That's what they do in art galleries. How much is that painting? Well, you're not going to get a straight answer. It's like you can go to the ocean with a bucket or a teaspoon, and that ocean doesn't care.
That's right.
So you can have it all, or you can have just a little bit. That's deservability. I write in my journal every morning because I never know how I'm feeling until I write it down. That started in AA because my sponsor said, write out your own inventory. Don't take anybody else's inventory. Take your own inventory. Do a searching and fearless moral inventory. Now that's the cleanup steps. First three are the face-up steps. Now, I've seen the enemy and it is me. So I'm the best and the worst. I'm the beast and the beauty. That's a beautiful play. They've just brought it out again. It's so simple, but if you want to love the beauty, you have to kiss a frog. My daddy's name was Froggy Benson, and he loved to sing. And when you ask, Patrick, sing for us, I don't feel like singing right now. So, I was telling Ashley before this started, I think it was before it started, but I said I go out in that hot tub because I'm double Scorpio and I like hot water. So that's like a baptism. That's John the Baptist. He baptized Jesus supposedly. And Jesus was a Capricorn. And Jesus, or Jesus, or the Christ in me, the Namaste, the highest in me honors the highest in you. So that's Namaste. That's spirituality. That's the crown chakra. And the stories that Native people have told me is just, it doesn't make any difference what color your skin is. We're all indigenous. We're all on this planet. You know, they just went around the moon. My God, have you seen this planet from far away? We live on a ball, and it's green. And you don't know what we have. Why are we fighting and having wars? The peacemaker always comes. It was sometimes Muhammad was the peacemaker, and Lord Shiva, some of the Buddha, the samurai. There's the sacred. There's a great book. It's called In the Absence of the Sacred. It says the failure of technology and the survival of the indigenous people. Well, we're all indigenous. Some of us have black skin, some red skin, some yellow skin, and some whites. That's the color of the medicine wheel. And that's my logo, except I put a twist in it. Because Lynn Twist also taught me a lot. She says, there's 3 spells you got to break in this order. No, let's see. What are they, Bob?
Well, the myth that there's not enough.
There's not enough. I don't have enough. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. What's the second?
The second thing is she goes into the movement of water, the flow of water is healthy, does great good. But if you have water that's stagnant, it'll kill you.
Well, it's to simplify that, it's more is better.
Water
There's not enough, but if I just had more, my life would be better. And what's the third spell? That's just the way it
Well,
is.
I think the other thing was, this was addressing fundraisers. Don't forget to ask.
Well,
She said so many people are hesitant to ask.
that's beautiful. That's well said. See, ask permission. That was Mother May I. We used to play that when we were kids.
Yeah.
Take one baby step. Mother May I. You couldn't take that step until you asked your mother.
Yep.
And if you didn't say Mother May I, do I have permission to touch your breast? No. Okay. But if you don't, you'll never receive if you don't ask. So Bob was more yang. He goes in to meet strangers and makes friends out of them and sells more drums from me. My God, but he can't make a drum. That's not his gift. The hand.
I've got a drum with my name on it.
Well, he takes my done, puts his name on them. But no, he's back in Huntington, West Virginia. We used to have a store called Robert Hall's and Bob Hall. I said,
Yep,
"What?" Robert Hall came to me. He
that's right.
says, Robert, what was that slogan? They had a ditty they did.
But now is the season.
Uh, Robert Hall's the reason, there's the season, and there was something else there. But
Something else in there.
if the initiator's a Gemini, he fights with himself. That's the there's a low side and a high side.
Yeah,
The twins is Gemini, air. So Casey's air. Casey's my daughter is air. But in the 12 steps they say intellect, or Fritz Perls says, intellect is the whore of intelligence. Now, what does that mean? That you know everything and you can do anything you want to. It's just procrastination, putting off the good. We're not afraid to succeed, we're afraid to fail. To take that back, we're not, reverse that.
reverse that.
The Courage to Fail, that was a great book. It says, how do you climb a mountain? One step at a time. And if you're going to climb to the top, most of your steps should be towards the top. Like, who am I? Where am I going? Those are the two questions. And the last is, who am I going with? That's none of my damn business. I can, I go with myself. That's the one I can be sure of. But you got to take the first step. And whatever you're powerless over, it's usually the intensity, the need to know, the addiction to what's not working. How you doing, Bob? Not bad. What the hell is that? That's, we work in the not. Do not park. Out there in my driveway I have, please keep clear.
I love that.
So if you're training dogs, the dog will train you. Dogs don't need training. People do.
Exactly.
Bob had I had some chickens out there at Bear Creek because I love fresh eggs. Bob's dog was herding the chickens because he had one of those Australian herding dogs.
Yeah.
And dogs God backwards. They're loyal.
Exactly.
But I married a cat. So every woman I ever chased didn't come out very well. But when I quit chasing, one came. The cat comes. Not when you're looking at her. Like I noticed that I stand outside my and I don't look at people or stare at them because the natives say that's disrespectful. You respect people's space. And you respect the elders. Respect's one of the 7 lessons of the pipe. Respect. And if it all starts with self-respect. That was one of the songs my New Thought Church was at. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful, I'm capable, and I'm being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. And then the second verse is, I love you, Bob, the way you are. There's nothing you need to change. And the third verse is, I love the world the way it is. There's nothing I need to change. So it's courage to change the things I can. The serenity prayer. Does anybody know the serenity prayer but me?
God grant me the courage to change what
That's not how it starts.
Oh,
Okay, I'll tell you.
go.
God grant me the serenity
On serenity.
to accept the things I can't change,
Mm.
the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So there was a book called The Wisdom of the Elders. I've had lots of sex with women. And I was a wounded little boy. I didn't know sex is spiritual. It's a sacred thing. It's wakan. God gives us this urge, and we put pornography out there. It's just terrible, because making love or creating, this is the season to plant seeds. This is the green man. This is going into the summer solstice. So, what's the gifts of the South? That one of the books that I read, and she asked me if she could put my logo on her new book, and it was called The Little One Diaries, and I fell in love with her without ever looking at what she looked like. We had an amazing. It's like you're dead and you meet somebody in the spirit world and you say, "I love you. I don't see your body, but I love who you are. I'm not trapped by the exterior anymore, because that's only surface deep." So as I get older, I've learned that all that glitters is not gold. It's very rare to have a beautiful woman that is attracted to you, because that's the women are the givers of life, and I got a bunch of men up there, popes, and in the White House. There's not many women except wounded little girls. But I quit watching TV. Did I hear something?
It was cars out my window.
There's a great book called Jerry Manders wrote. It says, "Kill Your TV." In the second book, he says, "In the absence of the sacred, the failure of technology and the survival of our planet. We live on a ball." And in my classes, I used to toss a ball. And when you caught it, you had to say catch. I say toss, and you say catch. You have to watch it all the way to where but you say your name. I say, Patrick, Patrick, Patrick. And I throw it to Bob. He said, Bob. I throws it to Ashley. She says, Ashley. But some people are saying Ashley when the ball's right here. Ashley. I know it's touch. Watch it all the way to the touch. So that's my teacher of play taught me touch tennis, and he'd have me watch that ball all the way to. It's like Scotty Scheffler out there on the golf course. You got to visualize where you want it to go, not where you don't want it to go. Who are you? Where are you going? Like I told Mandy, I said, I'm going to Bear Creek. Would you like to go? Now, if I'd ask her, you want to go to Bear Creek? I don't know. You want to go to Bear Creek? I don't know. You want to go to Bear Creek? You can't make a decision. That usually comes from the wounded little boy. How we were shamed. So, a lot of women marry wounded little boys, and that doesn't end up very well. That's why I believe in hand fastings. It means I promise to love you and be true to you year and a day. But I ain't assuming that you want to be with me next year, so we got to have a hand fasting, tying the knot. That's how true to you. It's called serial monogamy. Be it love the one you're with, and that begins with you. Because if you don't love yourself, it's hard to love another. What is love? Where is love? Like in tennis, they have love. How to Love a Woman. That was a great book. It says you've got to love her all the way. That was Frank Sinatra sang that song. When somebody loves you, it's no good unless they love you all the way. I mean, it's easy to play half-hearted. But you watch those children, they don't play half-hearted. Play is defined as no agenda. So it's called improv. And it's so rare, I think some of the comedians hit pretty close to it. There's some wise elders out there that I learn from, because if you're too proud to admit you're hurting, don't be surprised that nobody seems to care. So when you're hurt, you say, ouch. That completes that gestalt. I had to pee, so I went in there and because I wanted to call Bob, get him here, and anyway, I said, here, you take over. It's like my men's group. We've been together 30 years now, and we get together every 2 weeks. And that's loyalty. Suit up and show up. That's what they say in AA. I went to one meeting, and I didn't like it. It's like I had sex one time, and I ain't going to do it anymore. I'm going to become a nun and take a vow of celibacy. So the dark side and the sacred grows in silence. So if I don't know how to listen, that's giving your attention, that's tending to. And then in sports play, one of the ways to demonstrate that is we have a talking circle. So if you come with Casey, you have to pair up with somebody you don't know. And you get 5 minutes each to say, who am I, without all the labels. You can't say, I'm a stockbroker, I'm a drum maker, I'm a wounded little boy sometimes. Sometimes I'm happy and sometimes I'm horny. And sometimes I'm angry. And sometimes I'm sad. So if you cry, I took things personally, so my teacher would play tennis with a racquetball and hit me in the ass with them hard shots. And I'd have bruises on my back. And he says, you're taking it personally. He says, grieve it. So I went around and said, ouch, oh, ouch. So if you're hurting, little kids will do that. They say, play the drum. They just start beating on the drum. But they don't hold their breath. But the adults come in and they say, is it okay to make noise? That's not childlike. There's a difference between being childlike and childish. So childish is a facade. I had a great book called The Facade. It's how I really am, and then how the act, the face I put on. So when that facade, when real and authentic shows up, you know it. It's not the crown jewels. It's not the diamond and the gold. It's having them all. The gold gate's the one when I go back to spirit and don't come back. That's called the gold gate. But in Angela Sarian's great book, The Second Half of Life. So the first half is about accumulating and making babies. But some people pause if they want to bring a baby into this world. So we have to love ourselves first. And self-care, take good care of ourselves in mind, body, spirit, and soul. They do soul retrievals. That means that massage therapist, he'd say, you're bending down. You got to hump back. It says you're afraid of your heart. Throw those shoulders back. I am Patrick. I'm not a wannabe. I am what I am. Sometimes I'm an asshole, and sometimes I lie and steal. But I go to confession. That's step in AA. There's I can't. Creator can. I think I'll let Creator turn your will and life over to the care of a power greater than you. And made a searching and fearless inventory of yourself, not somebody else's. We'd love to take other people's inventories, but you got to look in that mirror. That's the West Gate. I raised money for this church. I was going to 12 years of AA meetings, and I was sponsoring 46 people. And smoking pot, keeping it a secret. And in AA they say you're only as sick as your secrets. And so we have to admit to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our barriers to being wholehearted, childlike, taking loving care of what we hold as sacred, starting with me. So it's the man in the mirror. But clarity of intent, singleness of focus, and open to receive. Those are this woman that wrote this book. She said, it's the manifest essence. Who are you? What is your charisma? Like I did some aura photography, because you're more than just a body. And if you believe in the mystery, like Bob and I used to draw a card every time he'd come in the store. Well, what the Spirit's telling me today actually does the same thing. So if you don't know, wait. Sometimes Creator says, pause. Aries have a lot of troubles pausing because they want to start. But it's about initiating action. That's important. I was running 7 miles a day, three times a week. Run, and I was running backwards. I was skipping. That's play. That's what kids do. Run and play is the same thing. Running and playing and dancing. So, when's the last time you sang your song? Your soul's lost if you're not singing. You need a soul retrieval. That's a water. That's that hot tub does that to me. And then I don't need to shower, but I shower. Start with cleaning myself, washing my hair, taking loving care of me, like not eating too much. Eat till I'm not quite hungry anymore. I weigh the same as I did in high school. And they're coming to give me my annual checkup. And last year they said, God, you're healthier than a lot of people. My God. I says, yeah, doctors don't study healthy people. They study cadavers, dead people that nobody cares about. So they donate them to science. Come in and dissect. That's important. Sometimes you learn a lot about frogs by dissecting them, but you got to kill the frog. So, used to have a healer named Francis Firebrace from he's still alive. I believe he must be close to 100 now. But he came here and stayed with me. I'm up there where Mandy sleeps. And he said, can I paint some drums for you? I said, well, I just want to paint some. So he painted Barramundi, which is one of the symbols in the Aboriginal language. Ayers Rock. And Francis went into the ice cream store to get some ice cream, and he went to every booth and says, "Hi, I'm Francis Firebrace. I'd like to introduce myself." And he had that whole place a hopping. Well, that's Bob's gift. He could do that. So if you can't see your own gifts, you can't see it in other people. So it's how you learn to swim. I asked my grandpa to teach me to swim, and he threw me in the damn river. He said, "You already know how to swim. You swam 9 months around in Mama's belly." Because we know everything then. So some of us need a rebirthing. Like go back and remember what in the hell you're here. You knew it when you're up there in the spirit world, in the dream time. That's what a lot of cultures say. That's the real time. Bob says, "I'm going to retire. I mean, I'm going to bed."
Right.
What the hell's retiring? If you're doing what you love, what's there to retire from? But so that's always do your best. Do your best. Don't take things personally. And don't make any assumptions. Like I had a woman working for me, and she's now got her own store. But I taught her everything about business, and she got a store. She says, "I'm not making enough money." I says, "Well, I'm not the source of your abundance. Creator is. I'm paying you what I can afford to pay you." And so she left. She's a witch, which means she's more into the witching, like the witching for water. They use forks, dowsing rods. Like my teacher used to program a dowser. Says, if you don't know, ask spirit, because impatience is ignorance extended. So being patient is all the time. Like I went over to see my sister, my mom's second husband. She's my stepsister. She lived in a cell with Jimmy Buffett, and lived in St. Thomas and St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands. Over there they call it island time. I went down to Texas to work with the Comanches because I was a fundraising consultant. They said, "We'd like to buy 100 acres down there in Texas and recreate Texas before the white people came here." And so I said, "Okay, when you want to meet?" They said, "How about next Friday?" "What time?" "When we get there." So time is illusion. Time is, there's only the presence. Giving your presence to someone that's paying attention. Like that's a talking stick. So after you spent 5 minutes listening and talking, you came back in the circle and you had to introduce your partner by talking to him rather than about him. Rather than say, "Patrick does," I say, I look at Patrick and say, "You do." It takes more courage to talk to someone rather than talk about somebody. So that's integrity. I went to military school. Character makes the man. That's what they told me. And the student says, and KMI makes the idiots. So the more rules you got, the more you want to break them. But when you're young, you don't know anything about respect. So one of the lessons of the pipe is respect. And looking at the gifts of the South, that's manifesting what your intention is, bringing it from an idea into form. And then the West is all about the fall. It's about how do you feel about that? The silence. Going into the silence, going into the waters. The West, like my sweat lodge out at Bear Creek, is between Bear Creek and the lodge, the West Gate, because we got 4 doors that we walk in for each season. For everything there is a season. And those 5 sacred symbols, Ashley, did you talk about those? Her beautiful artwork she does. But time is art, not time is money. The timeless. We are timeless people. And my brother still talks to me up there in the spirit world. I read a book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And it says, and his brother started talking to him from the spirit world. And says, I want to write a book and I want to write it through you. She says, I can't do that. People think I'm crazy. But she finally agreed to do it. She wrote this book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And he says, I want to tell you how beautiful it is up here, and I don't know how much longer I can stay connected because I'm out of my body now. I'm in the dream. And he wrote this book called The Afterlife of Billy Fingers. And it's like when you procrastinate, that means you're up there in heaven and say, damn, I wish I'd have done. So now you got to go back and do it again. It's a do-over. Because if you only go to one meeting and then make a judgment about it, you're not willing to go to any length. That's the first step. You got to be willing to go to any length. If you want what we have, what do we have? Happiness, spontaneity, play, work, and prayer, and good friends. That's that you can trust. And if you trust yourself, you can usually trust other people. But you can find out who in the hell's, like Mandy's the one that said, why don't you make it by invitation, not by, we're open from 10 to 6, come in and browse. I say, no, I hadn't discerned who my customers are. Like I used to do drum circles and these predators would come in. Because you get around the spiritual circle and that's where the dark side wants to come in to the spiritual. So the AA, I had friends wherever I went. I was down there in Texas, and those Indians, Mary Red Eagle and Quanta Parker's grandson, they taught me about Indian time. Because I was very punctual. What time are we going to meet? When we show up. So that teaches you patience. The non-progressive Great Spirit. So if you realize that you're a little girl or a little boy inside, and you got to take loving care of that one first. You can't take care of Frankie until you take care of yourself. And if they love you, they hate you. So one of the gifts of the North is out beyond right and wrong is a place, or good and bad. Those are judgments, they aren't feelings. So becoming childlike, like when you're young you shit in your pants, when you're old you shit in your pants. And I thank God I can still be grateful for what you have. Gratitude's the purest form of prayer. Say, I'm grateful that I have Ashley here. She's been around this wheel once, and she's learning at her pace, not at my pace. And she's be all you can be, manifest essence. Because when we betray ourselves, we'll betray somebody else. But why would you want to be with somebody that didn't want to be with you? So don't make assumptions. Like I asked this pretty girl, are you available? I was scared to death to ask him if he was available. It took courage. Because she says, available for what? For a relationship. Rather than yes, no. Well, what do you mean by that? So, uh, asking permission. That's what Bob does. He's outgoing. He's got a lot of yang going, but he's got the twins because he's an air sign. Intellect. He gave me a whole bunch of try. All of his library came up to be my library or our library, and books are the one things that have been the greatest teacher to me. People that read, and in school systems don't teach that much. Say the parents realizing that you aren't perfect, that you can say, I'm doing the best I can. And if I gotta pee, I gotta go pee. That completes that gestalt. So I have to put my teeth in the morning in order to eat. And I used to have implants, and some of them have come out, and so I'm using. But it's hard for me. So you lose your tooth when you're young. You don't have any teeth, so you're very gullible. You drink mama's breast milk, or you drink from a bottle. Give you those bottles or pacifiers, so something to suck on. So that's becoming childlike rather than childish, or wanting something in the future rather than the present is that's the greatest gift you can give somebody. I've got a Christmas tree over here in the south direction because it's the best time to buy Christmas presents. So if you're going to give your presents, but the greatest gift is giving your attention, which is loving someone, and tender mercies. It's beautiful. I don't know what time it is, but I'd like to hear more from Bob.
It's 8:07.
8:07?
Yep.
Do we go to 8?
We go to 8.
Oh, Lord, I went over. Well, damn. Well, it's a teaching circle, and I teach the Red Road, but I love people to ask me questions, because I already know everything I know. Listening, maybe you'll learn something. But if you're only talking, you're yanging. The yin is. But I'm on ending time. I'm tired. I ate. I took care of myself. But when the AA has a great slogan. It's called HALT. Don't get too hungry. Don't get too angry. Don't get too, what's the other one? L? Don't lonely. Like all alone by the telephone. How do you treat yourself when you're alone? And T is don't get too tired. So sometimes you show up and you're exhausted, and it's hard for you to listen. That's why it took me 12 years of AA meetings to learn what the hell they were saying. Just keep it simple. It's easy. The way the program works is you don't take the first drink. That's the one that always gets you. It's not the third. If you get hit by a train, it's not the third car that kills you. It's the first one. We got 7 weeks coming up, and I'm sorry I got on a roll there. But I'll close it with a prayer. Bob, you got anything you want to add before we close?
Yeah, it's a really exciting time to be alive.
Yeah.
So much staring over into the abyss, and really always the gratitude saying about changing what you can change, and can't you, knowing wisdom's knowing what you can change. And it's at that point in time. And what I found so interesting for me, it's really been a situation where I've followed politics a lot all my life and have a pretty good feel for the economy, et cetera, et cetera. But it's this time around, I don't have the foggiest idea how we get out of that war other than just walking away. I think we're finally getting something that's going to trigger big waves in our life, not from a war standpoint, but from what happens in this country. Uh, but I have to hold back making any kind of prayer to achieve anything out of it because that's just an invitation for me to give a few suggestions. And I just want to observe it and be there and bless it, whatever happens.
We can edit this thing. My friend here knows all the steps to do things that we don't because we're old. But you got anything to say?
Grateful for you both. Grateful for the sunny day. And I'll be grateful to go to bed.
Yeah, I do. Okay, well, my closing prayer is, Grandfather, we thank you for this time that we've shared together. One is the loneliest number, so I offer good prayers for good health, long life, and the courage to be who we are and to manifest who we are. Not be afraid, not let fear make decisions for us. So until we meet again, aho.
Aho. Sleep well, my friend. And you too, young
Okey-dokey.
lady.